Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, so here we go. Let's get into this. Leos, we are headed into the worm moon, which is also going to be a full moon lunar eclipse blood moon. So there's a lot going on energetically, and that's basically between like the 2nd and the 3rd of March. So it's coming right up. So, with that in mind, just bearing in mind that the worm moon is a time where things are starting to kind of like thaw out. There's a particular kind of like beetle larva that starts to thaw out of the tree bark. And that's where we get the name worm moon from. The Ojibwa also called this the sugar moon because it's a time when they could tap the trees for maple syrup. So there's a couple different names, but because we are talking about things that are kind of like waking up and showing up again, as well as the fact that we're going to have, the eclipse where everything is aligned, but is blocking for a moment. I'm looking at it like what has been hidden that is now going to be revealed. That's the way I'm inspired to tell this story. So we start with what has been hidden. Well, we have a 5 of Pentacles, we have a Page of Pentacles, we have a 4 of Swords. What's been hidden is that something really hurt for a while. There was a feeling of a loss. There was a feeling of, I couldn't maybe find a way to talk about that or admit it to myself. I didn't know how to speak about that, or maybe the person I needed to talk to, I didn't know how to talk to them about how it felt. Is this going to be a storyline where it almost feels like silence over something that was painful? We have 5 of Swords. We have Page of Wands. Something went really badly and it wasn't healed. And that was so much more of a stumbling block. And I think this is for Leo. This was so much more of a stumbling block than was previously realized. And I'm wondering if this is Leo primarily, who's like, oh my God, I didn't know how much I actually did need dialogue so that maybe I could, 3 of Swords, get beyond a heartbreak. But it looks like somebody else has had a heartbreak as well. We get this a lot for Leo storylines. I don't know if Leo was dealing with an air sign, but there's an awful lot of air energy. We also have some pentacle energy, some earth energy. It looks like what has been hidden is perhaps 2 characters had been very brokenhearted for some time, felt very out in the cold, not known how to speak again, had an argument, walked away feeling hurt, feeling insulted. They may have felt like Leo was going to just go off and date somebody else. They may have been heartbroken. This could be a divine masculine that was heartbroken over Leo. Okay, can we just stick with just Leo's side of this right now? So is this going to be, well, I should say what is being illuminated on this topic then to Leo? King of Wands, 3 of Cups. It could be that Leo was very hurt over someone. And at this point, either there's going to be some communication. Remember, we are in retrograde as well. And although I didn't intend this to be a retrograde message, it is very possible that this person is going to be returning into Leo's life and telling them point blank, like, I really loved you, Leo. I didn't like the idea of you dating somebody else. It cut me to my core. Like, it's driven me crazy. They may be revealing that to Leo, or Leo is meeting somebody entirely differently and it's taking their mind off of this person that they were so hurt by. Okay, so we have the Moon, we have the Temperance, and we have the 2 of Wands. In this storyline, I think Leo didn't realize how hurt they had been by somebody, which I know that sounds crazy. Like, how would you not know? Because sometimes you don't realize how much it holds you back. Sometimes you try to brush something off, and that's what Leo, I think, tried to do. They tried to just move on from the thing that really hurt, and they're just now realizing, now that they're feeling better, and now that they might be meeting somebody who is wonderful and warm and loving and present, there could be somebody really awesome who is coming into Leo's world as a King of Wands, and it's striking Leo like, oh my God, I can't believe it, but I was really shaken by the way things ended between myself and another person. I was really hurt over it. I was really, really hurt over them. Now, Leo still does not know, with the moon being here and the temperance in the reverse and the two of wands, that person from the past is still reeling from Leo being able to move on. And I think that that's interesting because it feels like we had an unfinished story. It feels like two people had a fight in the past and the relationship ended, and they were like devastated at the thought of Leo moving on and meeting somebody else, or thought Leo already was dating someone else. But Leo is the one who is devastated over and missing that person. And that the argument that ended stuff was just gnarly. I mean, this wasn't a good time. But now that Leo is actually moving forward, is about to meet somebody new, I think that's really going to put it into perspective where Leo's like, you know what? The truth is, I did need to move on, and I have met somebody, or I will be meeting somebody else that's much more of a great match for me. But what Leo still is unaware of is, look, that person that is heartbroken, that possible air sign, they are howling for Leo right about now. There's no peace for them on this. So even if Leo has moved on, can I just ask, what was the fight about? It's not that I think we should have to go backwards in time, especially if Leo is moving forward, but what was the fight about? Empress, it could have had to do with whether or not a relationship was going to be super serious. The Hermit, I don't know. There's a masculine on that Hermit card. Like, they wanted to walk away. Boy of Swords. It almost feels like, look, I don't know if plain and simple, we had Leo dealing with an air sign who was kind of aloof, kind of wanted to like halfways date Leo, but always on like this very kind of like, I won't be around much, but I'll keep tabs on you. And you're the only one I want, and I don't want you to move on with somebody else, but I'm not really going to be around. I know it sounds really strange, but that's what this gives, is like, that's what the fight was about. Well, yeah, I can understand. How can you say that you want to build something, but you're not going to be around? You're always going to keep yourself apart, but you'll spy on me from a distance. I could see how that could have been a pretty big issue. We have the Tower. Yeah, and it was. And it wrecked this relationship. I can also understand why Leo would have walked away from this and said, I mean, it's talk about lonely, and I don't understand. I'll never know why was that our final dialogue, but I certainly have to just heal from it, because they didn't say that they want me. They want to stay aloof. And honestly, it went so badly. That conversation went so badly. And if they had wanted to heal things with me, they would have had to move toward me, but they didn't. And it's because they were over there feeling too sad about like, well, it's over with Leo, and Leo probably has somebody else in their life, or will very soon. Maybe it's all for the best that person of the past, even though they seem to be very stressed out right now over Leo and still lost in the murkiness about what they want, they don't really seem like they were very clear on anything. So I'm not really sure why they come up at all in this, other than to say, I did ask what's hidden. And so what's hidden is Leo does not know that this person from their past, possible air sign, person that they had a really bad relationship or bad conversation with that ended things, is hurting over Leo. I mean, they flat out are. They seem unsure about where to go next. They don't seem like they have any peace. This is a very difficult time for them. Is there anything else here for Leo to like have illuminated, or anything else hidden in regards to that? 9 of Cups. On one hand, this person could be selfish. That's why they maybe wanted Leo in their life on their terms. But still kind of play it like they're single, but have a serious relationship, but never be around. But then the thought of having Leo move on is terrible for them. And it's eating them up inside, the thought of Leo moving on. But then they still seem to be somebody who hasn't really changed, because they always still want things on their terms. We don't see this person from the past changing. We see them still wanting everything to go on their terms. So I'm kind of thrilled to see that Leo, the thing that's hidden still is that Leo's about to meet somebody new and feel very differently about this whole thing. Let me see more on the King of Wands and that 3 of Cups. 4 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Hanged Man. Look, this has been an option, a timeline shift that has been available to Leo for a very long time. But Leo did kind of have to be ready for a new beginning. And I think what's being revealed to Leo, what they're waking up to is like, I am ready for the new beginning. Honestly, the person in the past that I walked away from, whatever their issue was, look, it doesn't matter. I'd rather, I think, have a new beginning with somebody else. And it'll probably take me a while before I meet somebody. The only humor here is it's not going to take a while. We already have a King of Wands and a Three of Cups. Leo could simply go out with some friends, feel a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter. And we have the King of Wands again with the Eight of Wands. I feel like what Leo doesn't yet know, what's been hidden, is that basically as soon as they were done with the person of the past and no longer, kind of feeling the feels about that, there was always this other timeline. There was always going to be this King of Wands that Leo would meet. It's like their life, I'm not saying it's destined, because we make our own destiny, right? We choose the pathways that we want to take. But I am saying that I think Leo would always have eventually gravitated this way and have found this for themselves. They were always going to find themselves headed this direction. And it just looks so exciting. It looks so amazing to see Leo, like shifting this way and ending up, even though, yes, it's been a while, right? They could have already met this King of Wands, but they didn't. Leo still maybe doesn't know just yet, but they're about to. They're about to meet this King of Wands. It could be going out with friends at some place that has like a restaurant or bar that has like a billiards room. This looks like somebody playing darts. It could be a very casual setting, but this person this King of Wands has been, I'm going to say, single and available for a while. They've been waiting to meet somebody like Leo, and Leo just hasn't been ready to meet them until now. How swiftly is this happening around this full moon? That Hanged Man makes me think that it's not going to happen right away, but it could, it could still take a bit of time. Knight of Swords says, no, it could be happening very soon. It's already been a period of time where this timeline could have come to pass, but didn't. Now we're about to have it happen. With that Knight of Swords, we see the, lightning bolt. We had the lightning here as well. Things are changing. And I was just talking about in the collective message that I put out, the crazy experience that I had yesterday with lightning. And so I'm wondering if this is just like, oh my God, Leo, everything's picking up pace. 10 of Wands, the past is the past. This full moon is changing everything. So, I mean, this could be as soon as we get through this full moon, this eclipse, as soon as we step through that eclipse moment and we're on the other side of it, that could be, whatever. Leo could meet this person on like the 3rd, it could come up that fast because the past is the past. Oh, what an exciting message. This is great. Leo may not see it coming, but when we are done with one chapter of our life, that's when the next chapter begins. It's as simple as, if you get into your car and you start it up and you start driving, you are moving away from the place that your car was parked before. You're no longer parked. You're in motion. That's how quickly everything changes for Leo in this. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Lots of love. Bye.